The Eagles are arriving to training camp. The champs are back. Jalen Hurts got there today with his Jordan Brand bag. All right, Hugh, we're there tomorrow, and we're going to be there a lot. In fact, let me pull this up right
How many
now.
days?
Well,
all week, right? The rest of the week?
I have our schedule in front of me here. I have our schedule when we're going to be at camp. I know the morning show is going to be there a lot as well, but we have the following days. We will be doing live shows from Eagles training camp from practice. Tomorrow, July 23rd. We'll also be out there on July 24th, Thursday.
Okay.
We're going to be out there next week on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. So 3 days next week.
Okay.
And then the following week after that, Monday and Tuesday as well. And then really after the first 3 weeks, camp's a little different, right? It's not as, it's kind of, you get 3 weeks of real training camp. So we're going to be out there for a lot of it. Can't wait. Hugh, when we're out there, what are you looking for? Like when you are paying attention and looking at practice, what's, for this particular team coming off the Super Bowl last year, what is top of mind for you as we get ready for camp?
First off, when you get to camp, got to get some of that Reedus.
Well, that's...
gotta get that Reedus. Got to get that Reedus.
If they have the mango, I'm front of line.
Yeah, you got to get that Reedus. Got to do that first. But what I'm looking for is just, I guess, the energy levels. You got some young cats on this team that they drafted that are just, Makuba just signed this deal.
Just signed, yep.
Just signed this deal. You got some young cats that are going to come in here and going to be looked at to contribute. I want to see how they approach business. You know, how the offseason has been for them, how coach reacts. Because he was under a lot of fire last year.
Oh, remember this time last year with him and Jalen? And like, it's amazing how 1 year changes everything.
You know what? And you know what? Since we're here, I mean, you know, we need to be allowed to do our job as you know, analysts, as sports people, and all this other stuff.
Sports human beings,
and allowed to have opinions that, you know, might not jive with the opinion you have, but damn it, let us do our job, just like we let you do your job. But, okay, that's neither here nor there. But, yeah, that's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to be looking for the focus. Because, man, listen, the Eagles are picked, they're favorites for a lot of people to repeat as Super Bowl champions. They're favorites. When you talk about the guys that are on the team and, you know, the barriers that they've broken through and the way the defense played last year. But the biggest things that the Eagles are going to have to contend with is those intangibles. Like, you know, winning the Super Bowl and being able to handle the success that you're given. Because, like I said, you know, and I said it was metaphorically speaking when I spoke to Cooper. And a lot of the snowflakes got in their feelings when they're like, oh, why are you worried about the dude? Where he got his DM? The point I was trying to make was this. Stay focused. Because it's easy to get unfocused when you have so many people coming at you. And now you're a hot commodity. And I'm not just talking, I'm just using him as an example. That goes for all of these guys. Because you're going to be in a position now where a lot more is going to be given to you. So you have to make better decisions. All money's not good money. And you don't want to put yourself in a position where it could compromise what you're trying to accomplish. That's it.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. And their focus, you know, I feel generally good about it because they have a lot of guys that played at winning programs. Like they have guys that played at Georgia and Alabama. They're used to this. Like that's what you do with those programs. You win a championship or get to a championship, and then you come back the next year and you do it all over again. So I feel good about that. Hugh, I'm going to be looking a lot at two things. One, they're young defensive players. You mentioned some of them. I almost think because they're still a favorite, I'm looking right now at the odds in FanDuel. They are the third favorite to win the Super Bowl, but they are the favorite to win the NFC. They're the top NFC team listed. Mm-hmm. Ravens, Bills are the two slight favorites to win the Super Bowl, followed by the Eagles, Chiefs, Lions. Those are your top five to start the season. But the Eagles are the NFC favorite. I almost think because there's still so much talent, we're almost underselling how much change. Like, the defense is way different. Doesn't mean it can't be good again. Mm-hmm. In fact, it could be.
But it's different.
I mean, how many things on the defense, players, positions, do you feel like no doubt about it? Jalen Carter's a no doubt about it, right?
Yeah, the secondary, I would say.
Well, I don't know.
The corners?
Two of the corners.
Two of the corners.
Right, okay. So I would say you have Carter.
Linebacker?
Well, I don't know. Wait a second.
Well, it's not. No, I'm just saying, like.
Vaughn.
The Campbell thing's going to be one of the more interesting storylines to watch.
Right.
Is he going to be ready? What's he look like? Yeah.
And do they throw two different positions at him, or is he just an inside guy this year and then eventually becomes an edge? They try to do. So I don't know about that. So I feel great about Jalen Carter. The rest of the defensive line is a question mark, right? Just I don't know. I mean, Ojomo's going to play a big role this year. He didn't play much last year. Ty Robinson's a fourth-round pick. He's supposed to play a lot this year. They lost Milton Williams. Now you have to go to the linebacking core. Hugh, it's probably going to be Trot week 1.
Maybe.
If Jahad Campbell's not ready?
Yes.
Probably going to be Trot week 1 because it doesn't seem like the Kobe's going to be ready. So,
nope.
All right, so that's different than last year. And then the secondary, you're right. Quinyon and Cooper you feel good about.
Mm-hmm.
But then is it Keely Ringo? Is it Adoree Jackson?
I feel good about Keely. But he's one of, like, this is my biggest concern when I think about these young guys, is the pitfalls that come with being successful at a young age.
Like the ones, like Cooper and Quinyon?
Well, yeah, just being successful at a young age. You're talking about 3 young corners, and I'm going to throw Keely in that too. They won the Super Bowl. Now they're going to be tasked to do more. And, it's funny. And I said yesterday, about a week or two ago, we were talking about Quinyon, and I said that he's going to be challenged. And somebody, I guess they didn't understand what I was saying. They said, well, he was challenged last year. Yes, he was. But the challenges are going to be different now because he's going to have a bullseye on his back. He's going to be known as the number 1 corner.
Well, he also doesn't have the Slay on the
other side. Yeah. And see, this is where, I'm not picking on anybody, but this is where you have to, like, open your mind up a little bit and just think outside of what's actually being said.
You expect people to be able to do that?
I'm trying. I'm working on it. I'm just working on it because it's like a lot of times, especially being a former Eagle, and we talk about the Eagles, people are so into their fandom that they take everything as a slight. It's not a slight. It's a evaluation of what could potentially be.
Hater.
Yeah, or that. That's the other word they like to use.
Ripping the Eagles again. Classic Hugh Douglas.
And so when I say things like that, know that it's coming from a place where you are the hunted now. You're not the hunter. Mm-hmm. Everybody, because this is why I remember this so vividly, because going 1-13 and 1-15, and 3-13, you always have teams that you play that are measuring sticks. You want to see how good you are. Everybody has the Eagles on their schedule, that have the Eagles on their schedule, has that game marked. Especially the teams that feel like they're on the cusp of being good.
Right.
When you talk about the Rams, the Rams feel like, oh man, they got away with one. And we were younger back then. We had a young defense and we stood toe to toe with them. Like that's what I'm trying to get y'all to think. Like they're like, oh, we stood toe to toe with them. We were one play away from going to the Super Bowl. We were one play away of being in the NFC Championship game. So you got that team that's going to be gunning for you. You got the Commodores that are going to be out there gunning for you. You got the Detroit Lions that feel like if they would have been healthy, they would have beat your ass because everything would have ran through Detroit. So that's what I'm talking about. So when somebody lines up across from Quinyon Mitchell, it's going to be one or two things going through their mind. Making a name for themselves or beating one of the best corners in the game. Mm-hmm. That's it. Is he ready for that? Because he's been partying. He's probably been partying. He's probably been hanging out with his friends, eating steak and shrimp, chilling, working out. I'm not saying he's not doing anything, but do you understand what I'm saying when I say that?
I do.
Yeah, I know you do, but I'm just talking about the peanut gallery. You know what I mean?
Our live studio audience?
Yeah, the live studio audience. Do they understand that? That's what I'm trying to say. But that's it. Because that's different. That's different.
Well, hopefully none of them spent an offseason chasing Carlos Stokes and they're coming back overweight.
Carlos Stokes, boy. Yeah. Can't stand me. Carlos, shout out Dr. Carlos.
One of my favorite parts of your career is when you came back fat after winning the Defensive Rookie of the Year.
I did not just come back fat. I came back super fat. My coach looked at me like, oh, my God, look at your ass.
Does she do anything for us?
Well, you know what? I'd say it does spin to tomorrow. I don't expect this from any of the Eagles, but does anyone come back fat? I mean, like, they had an offseason where they were the champions. I feel like we would probably know by now if there'd be pictures out there. But does anyone come back, like, not in ready-to-go mode?
Don't come back looking like Debo?
Yeah, that, and he's pretty chunky, Debo. He's trying to work that off at training camp. Debo went to the Hugh Douglas School of the offseason.
No, they were, what's funny? Debo was thick at the Super Bowl when he came in. He had on a AJ Brown jersey.
Yeah, no, he was. He filled it out too much.
He looked like he was about What did he say, Kyle? He was in his second trimester.
he was firmly in the second trimester.
As a report fact, I can say that. Yeah, I can say that because I was like, "Ooh, baby, what you been eating?"
But at least if you're a lineman, a defensive lineman, you could say, "Well, I have more power." You can't be a chunky wide receiver. That doesn't work.
No, because everybody looking at you like, "Damn, dog, what happened?"
Yeah,
like he was not only fat, he was fat and happy. Like that says a lot. Like when he was at the Super Bowl, he was smiling. He had on another man's jersey,
which is weird. A rival's jersey is bizarre.
He had on another man's jersey at the Super Bowl.
Let me throw two more things I'm looking at for training camp. One is Kevin Petula. And we have a new offensive coordinator. Again, it feels like we do this every year. Now, sometimes it's more of a, hey, we're happy about this because the last guy stunk, right? I think that was last year. It was more of like, all right, this is an upgrade. We got Kellen Moore. He has a track record. We'll see how it gels. But we upgraded here from Brian Johnson. I don't know right now if the Eagles upgraded. In fact, they probably didn't. I mean, Petula was on the staff, but Moore was the coordinator. So can Petula keep this thing going? And how much do they change? I mean, I know a lot of people want him to change and want them to throw more. That's a temptation I'm sure they're thinking about. So Petula and just what this offense looks like with another coordinator, that's one. And also, I mean, you guys know this. If Jalen Hurts has a few good practices, Elliott's going to start charting those interceptions. Can he break the record that he set last year, which was a huge moment?
It feels like that's going to be impossible.
It feels hard to do, yeah. But I don't know. If he goes a week without it, that's a big deal. All right, Kyle, what are you looking for at training camp?
I mentioned the Jahad Campbell thing. That's probably the number one thing I'm going to be looking at for training camp. But I think it's sort of an under-the-radar thing is do they just give the starting right guard spot to Tyler Steen?
Yeah.
Or do they make him fight for it with the guy that they traded C.J. Gardner-Johnson for? Like that.
Kenyon Green?
That's like the one open position on the offense.
Mm.
So I would think it's going to be Steen.
I would think
it
so
has
too,
to be.
but does he earn it?
Well, I think he has to, like, for reps purposes. He's probably going to get the majority of the reps, and they're going to work the other guy in to see how he does with the group. And there'll probably be times where I could see maybe him running with the ones one day and then Steen running the next day or something like that.
So I'm looking at the Elliott Shore Parks roster breakdown that he put up today. He has Green and Steen as both locks to make the roster. So interestingly, I was looking at it. So Elliott put up his locks, his bubbles, and his long shots to make the roster. Does this strike you guys interesting? He has Sidney Brown as a bubble guy to make the roster.
Oof.
Well, does that just mean Makuba's just the guy no matter what? As a rookie?
I would say with Sidney, the thing that, and I'm channeling my inner Ike Reese because Ike likes the way he plays. He likes the way he hits. He's a physical player. But your biggest asset is your availability.
And he struggled with that.
He struggled with that. So that could potentially make him a liability.
And I like the way he plays too, but sometimes it feels to me, Hugh, like he plays a little frenetic, a little out of control. Like he's
over-aggressive.
Yeah, he's got to rein it in and be in the right place at the right time.
That doesn't make me feel good, though.
But the Sidney's a bubble guy?
Well, yeah, it just makes it seem thin. It's Makuba, Sidney Brown, and Tristan McCollum.
Well, so Elliott right now only has Blankenship, obviously, and Makuba as the only locks to make the team at safety.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, that's super thin. Yeah, I mean, then you're talking about Sidney Brown and McCollum and Lewis Seen as your next few safeties.
People forget about him.
People do forget about Lewis Seen.